It's Princess Sarissa back. When we last left off, we had just defeated the gargoyles that were guarding the entrance to the Pyramid of Moor. Now it's time for us to head deeper inside the pyramid. This pyramid is a pretty nasty dungeon. It's really long. It seems to have a pretty high encounter rate, and it's full of a lot of different types of traps. We have environmental traps where we have like quicksand that pushes you down holes. We have stairs that change from stairways to like slides that slide you down, often into these spikes, which poison your characters and take hit points off when you touch them. So overall, nasty dungeon. There's a few other things that are bad too. So we have a little puzzle. You just have to hit the left and the right switch, and that creates a pathway through these spikes. And down here we have the quicksand here, you'll see. We can't turn it off. That button on the right will turn it off, but we actually want to fall down this hole because it's going to take us to some treasure. Another bad thing about this dungeon is a lot of the treasure chests are monster in a box chests. So they're usually these four enemies, or they can be this Archaeosaur. It's like a palette swap of that zombie dragon that we met back in the Drakenvale. And then it can be one of those palette swipes dragons with these two tombstone type enemies. So there's a few others, but a majority of the monster in a box are going to be these guys. So, and besides the random encounters, the monster in the boxes, there's also enemies that will be wandering around on the field, so they're like not random encounters, but we end up having to fight them too, so a lot of fighting in this dungeon. So here you see there's a lot of times like you'll be walking around and these snakes will pop out of the wall, so these aspis snakes, so there'll be a lot of fighting them. So but for the most part, I'll be off-screening these guys because, like I said, there's just so many of them, so. I'll also be off-screening in another room, but I'll talk about that when we get to it, so. So yeah, this final video, it's clocking in here at about 24.5 minutes, but the raw video that I had was over an hour long, about an hour and 3 minutes, so. Yeah, almost like 40 minutes will cut out just of like all the fighting that I had to do. So we'll turn that switch off later because we're gonna have to backtrack around. But we're gonna head up this way first. Yeah, like I said, I'll clear off all these snakes off screen. I want to head around this way because we're gonna go into this sarcophagus over here, and yep, we're gonna have fights when we open up these sarcophagi. So. This first one is going to contain the Grand Mummy. Because he's a mummy and he's grand. The rest will just usually include a group of 3 mummies, so. But they're probably about the same toughness, you know, because 3 regular mummies about the same as this Grand Mummy here, so. Of course, being undead, they are weak to fire, so we'll throw fire scrolls. If Faris didn't get knocked out there, she would summon up a Freet. These guys might be a good chance to also break some rods, so because they have so much hit points, over 6,000 hit points. So rods won't be as important anymore. There will be one fight probably where we're gonna want to have a whole bunch of rods to break. But that's for an optional boss much later, so trying to already plan out how I want to take down this boss, and I think I may use the strategy I did for my last Final Fantasy IV job Fiesta with breaking rods, but that'll be much later in the future, so yay! Alright, we took out this Grand Mummy, now we can head into his sarcophagus, and we can get this Coast Ring, so. I don't exactly remember what the Coast Ring does, so I'll look it up though. But I know in like a few other in a lot of other Final Fantasies, it reduces stats, but then in Final Fantasy IV, it reduces stats, but it turns elemental resistances into elemental absorbs. So press this button, it shuts off the flow of sand. Now that lets us bypass that thing and get back to the entrance and up that staircase there that we just walked past. So and here there was tombstone type enemies I was mentioning about. What they do is like a bunch of other like stone type enemies, weak against lightning. So they are using that guard off, a blue magic spell, but you have to give them an ether to give them some magic points to use it. So, but alrighty. So I'm just pulling up here what the coast ring does. So, let's see here. It puts Doom on the wearer, but has 25 defense, 5 magic defense, and 10 magic defense. So, apparently has good defensive stats, but it puts Doom on the wearer. So, I wonder if that would be good with the zombie mail. I mean, the bone mail, because Doom usually heals anyone who Doom heals the Doom heals whatchamacallit, Undead. So here's that dinosaur type enemy. So he has a lot of hit points there. So yeah, throw some fire scrolls, break a rod, summon some Ifrits. Like I said, rods won't be all that important coming up, because the first one of the first mystic weapons that we're going to unlock is the Magus Rod, and that basically boosts your fire, your lightning, and your ice, and poison things, so you don't have to be juggling rods depending on which elemental you'll be using. So that's pretty good. And then one of the newer summons that we're going to be getting shortly isn't boosted by that Magus Rod. It's boosted by the Air Knife, so we'll just be using those two weapons to boost our summons. So we've got a white robe. That's obviously a magical type robe. So we'll put it on for now. We're going to get a little bit of a better robe in just a little bit. So, but and once again, we have another trap enemy. So, flame shield. Unfortunately, a lot of the traps, a lot of the treasure that we're going to be getting from trap tiles are dark matters, which is a good mixing item for chemists, but not obviously. That's the only use for it is if you're a chemist, and we can't use the chemist class. So, no. Well, here we have this other new enemy here. This Zephyrus. And what she does is she'll summon a random monster out of her magic lamp there. And then while you're fighting it, she'll just basically be support. She'll keep casting Cure 2 on it to try to heal it. So, luckily she summoned a D Chimera, which isn't too tough a monster. It was really tough back in RASAR's world, but now we have the skills and talents to take it out relatively easily and survive its attacks. So you'll probably see she's securing that thing up. So you might want to, like I said, when she summons the monster, concentrate your power on her so that she ain't undoing all the damage that you're doing to the monster that she summons. So don't be hitting Faris. Faris is nice. And it's a long dungeon. We're going to be going through a lot of those high potions we picked up. So alright, now what I'm going to do here is, like I said, I just did a little bit of off-screen grinding, because I wanted to find this enemy, the Ragiforms, like a manta ray, like flying in the air. So, you can encounter them on some higher levels, but tends to be easier to find on the lower levels. So I figured I would just do that, find it here before I advanced up the stairs. So it took about like 4 minutes to find it, but here it is. Woohoo! So nothing too particular, nothing really important. But like I said, if you're throwing a full bestiary, you might want to, you know, hunt it down right here. So here we end up falling prey to that trap. The stairs are kind of on a timer, and yeah, if you miss the timer, well, they're going to turn into a slide you down into those spikes. The spikes, in addition to damaging you, will also poison you, so you're going to have to use your antidotes. So here's another room I was saying that I was going to clear out on my own. It's full of all these little mech heads, so now these are a pretty interesting enemy, because if you try to jump on them, your jump isn't going to work. Because what's going to happen is, it's going to shoot a missile to intercept you. So we'll see that coming up. There it is, Interceptor. So yeah, the jump won't land and won't do any damage. So luckily, Krile won't take any damage, but it basically, she had to avoid that missile, and so she didn't get to use her jump. So I figured I'll just break some rods here, take this guy out real quick. I won't be able to break all these rods to take out a whole bunch of them, but there was like a bunch of them. And there's also a bunch of snakes running around, those aspil snakes. So yeah, this is a good like 12 minutes taking out enemies here. So I'll pick up these two treasure chests on the side before we start opening up these sarcophagi. And these ones, they ain't going to contain a grand mummy, but like I said, they will contain 3 regular mummies. So we'll switch on a flame rod there to boost the damage of a Freet summon. So RASAR can throw some fire scrolls. Got Krile there looking all tough as a monk. Ooh. Throw your fire scrolls, and these guys won't be too bad. So maybe a Freet might finish him off. If not, another fire scroll should do it. So very close. Oh yep. Woo! There we go. Finish it off. And now we can head in here. We get another cursed piece of equipment, the Thornlet. And there's a glitch you can use with the Thornlet if you're using the Berserker. There's a hammer eventually that we're going to get actually in this thing, the Gaia hammer. And it can randomly cast Quake. And there's a black robe there. That's the quick upgrade for the white robe. So a little less stamina. But it gives a little bit more magical power. Stamina determines a little bit about your defense, but we're not too worried about Faris' defense because she's in the back row. So the magic boost is a little bit better than the stamina boost. Now, I was saying, whatchamacallit? Well, we'll get to it in a little bit because we've got a save point here, and we're going to run a little commercial here for rabbit and small animal rescue, and then I'll get back into what I forget I was talking about. But I know what I'm going to be talking about here. Some of the pets available for adoption. Look at all the cuties. They got little Lolo and Peanut. And I'll show off a little more at the end of this video. And there's little furry Hank there. Aww. All these sweet little rabbits. And Hurley. But there's also more than rabbits. And we'll see that at the end of the video when we check out some more rabbits available. Or more animals available for adoption at Rabbit and Small Animal Rescue. So, here's a unique enemy, Sekhmet. So, now this guy, once you defeat him, he basically only appears once. The only way you can defeat more than one of him, you know, to maybe keep getting thief's gloves, stealing thief's gloves off of him, if you have a thief, is if you capture him. So you can beat him down until, you know, he's at 1/8 of his hit points or 1/2 his hit points, depending if you have that Konago jar. And then you can capture him, and then he'll keep appearing. But if you defeat him regularly, he will go into this little speech. He'll talk about his brother, and his brother's a boss in a future dungeon. And he basically says, you know, you may have beaten me, but my brother in the tower will defeat you, so. And then we won't meet him again. So he's kind of like a mini boss, I guess, in a sense. So, there we go. You may have defeated me, but my brother in the tower will. Blah. Boink. Bye, Sekhmet. Ooh, Faris gained a job level. Woohoo! More snakes popping up, but luckily we can avoid them right now. Woohoo! Oh, now I remember what I was talking about, because the thornlet. So we're gonna get a hammer eventually later here. Got a good upgrade there, crystal armor for RASAR, and it can randomly cast Quake. Now the Berserker class has really terrible magic. Has a really high penalty to magic, to its magic stat. But if you equip the Thornlet, it first of all casts like a drain. You'll constantly be losing hit points with the Thornlet, but it also drops your magic. It also drops your magic stat. And what happens is with the Thornlet, you equip the magic stat. You equip the Gaia Hammer on a Berserker, and then it's the Thornlet, and the magic penalty makes your magic go below 0, so it wraps back around to the high level, to 255, which is the max of any stat. So then, with the Berserker, uses that hammer, and the hammer, its secondary ability, casting Quake, triggers, then it'll do massive damage with the Quake spell. So yeah, some people will get a Berserker for their 4-job Fiesta. They'll use that against some multi-targeting bosses, so, or multi-part bosses. So we're gonna fall down this hole here because it leads us to some more treasure, useless treasure, dark matter. But you know, we're trying to go for that 100% completion. And this is that room that we couldn't open this door. It's a one-way door. You can only open it from the back side. So luckily, we've encountered all the enemies that we can in this pyramid. So we don't have to. We can off-screen all the enemies that we encounter now. So, but we still have a little bit ways to go. So we'll just avoid that button for now. And we want to avoid the button here on the right. If you press that button, that wall will go forward and push you into the pit. So here we have 2 chests. Both were trap tiles, and both of us gave dark matter. So I just did them both at that one cutoff there. And these 2 treasure chests have a bunch of money. So got to be saving a bunch of our money, because there'll be some good shopping much later on. So there's a hidden village that we can go to once we get the airship, but I'm not going to go to it right away. I'm going to get some more money, and I'm not going to go there until the clues basically tell us where the village is. So alrighty, and this is the 7th floor, where we're going to be able to get that Gaia Hammer that I mentioned. So you know, we're going to head up in a little bit, but we're going to head off to the left here first to get some more treasure. So although we could all do this one treasure loop all in one go, but because we're eventually going to have to go up and then fall down from up the floor above to get into that middle room there. So there's a treasure in that room, and the door only opens from the side with the treasure chest. So, but just so we don't forget, yep, so you can't open it there. But just so I don't forget, I figured I'll get these chests right now. So we got one there. And if we take a few steps back and then head south, there's another hidden passageway here. So, yeah, this is good if you have a thief. A thief will be good because the thief is able to see all these hidden passages. They're shown off in like a little gray. But like I said, if you don't have a thief, you're just going to have to either have a map that shows these things off, be following a guide like my little playthrough here, or just remember from maybe a previous playthrough where, you know, you may have had a thief. So here we have kind of an annoying room. The floor is going to kind of alternate, and we just want to, we don't want to fall down yet. We want to get all these 3 treasure chests. So this little corner one is always going to be solid, and so is the one above the treasure chests. So we're going to get these 2 treasure chests on the side, and then we're going to head down the room on the right there, because there's some treasures down there. So there's also treasures on the way to the left, but the way to the left is the way you want to proceed. So both the left and the right are going to take us down to this room here, but if you notice, to the left of that door, the stairs are little slides, so you can't go up to the door there on the top from the right side here. We're going to have to take it down from the left. So we're going to head back this way. We're going to want to get that treasure chest now in the middle. So we're just looking at the pattern. So head down, the one to the left of the treasure chest. Get this guard ring, and now we want to fall down this hole. So we're just going to wait here. Another guard ring. That casts regeneration on your character, so they'll be gaining hit points back every round. Fall down this hole, and we can get this treasure chest that we missed earlier. Well, we didn't really miss it, we just couldn't get it from before, because remember, that door only opens from the side of the treasure chest. So now we can head back up. And now we're just going to head down the staircase on the left. Look at your pattern, get your pattern, step on that one. Now we just have to walk these steps and we're good. So, woohoo! Now we have our final 2 treasures here in this treasure chest, because we have another treasure coming up. Another monster attack and another dark matter. So we'll just sell them off. Make sure you don't step on these on the gray tiles, because that'll slide you back down. You don't want to have to repeat these rooms. Now we're at the very end of the pyramid, and we get the first tablet. Woohoo! And this will allow us to unlock 3 legendary weapons, the only 3 that we will technically need. So, and one of them is going to be obsoleted pretty quickly. So luckily, we don't have to leave out the dungeon. We kind of get warped out of the dungeon here. And remember, in addition to unlocking the legendary weapons, each of the tabs is going to unlock something else. So the first one's going to unlock here the Dragon King Bahamut. But luckily, we don't have to fight him yet. Another tablet will unlock the Water King Leviathan. And then the other 2 tablets, one will unlock the ultimate time magic, Meteor, but that's not really ultimate time magic. The best time magic is quick. Allows you to take 2 turns at once. You see, if you watch my previous 4-job Fiesta, you'll see how I abused that spell. And the other tablet unlocks the ultimate white and black magics, Holy and Flare respectively. So Bahamut says he's going to go to the North Mountain, but we're going to have to, there's only a special way to get to the North Mountain. We can't get to it yet. We have to find a black chocobo, because the North Mountain is surrounded by desert and forest. Weird combination. So we can't land our airship there. And that airship is something we're going to be able to get back now, because it's free of that peninsula that it was hanging on now that Bahamut is gone. So, but that'll pretty much wrap it up for this episode here. So I'm going to do a quick save here, and I'll meet you back here in the desert for our next episode. So thanks for following along, and let's look at the rest of these pets available at Rabbit and Small Animal Rescue. There's many others there too. See, we've got guinea pigs, some more rabbits, Barney Fife Andy, Cotton, we saw him in a few previous commercials, and a bonded pair of bunnies. So if you would like to help support Rabbit and Animal Small Rescue, I've included a link in the video description that takes you to their homepage. Have a good day. Bye!